Welcome back to Heart to Rope, my story starting over in this journey. I'm back to roping and I couldn't be more excited. In this episode, I will be heading out and introduce you to my new horse. He came from Arizona, as you saw in the last episode, and luckily he didn't come from Panama. But do you see the propane tanks on that horse? I just thought that was something else. It's nice to have him back in my area now in Texas so I can start taking care of him. He's definitely curious. When I first got him here, he drank lots of water, and the stable owners have been really good about making sure I had the buckets for water and the feed and the hay I needed. And one thing my coworkers and stable owners told me is I definitely need a name for my horse. So it's funny to bring this horse to this new place and I don't have a name for him yet, but I'll have that here soon. He is white. He's not what I was expecting. I was looking for a sorrel or a bay horse. Every time he's out in the pasture, there must be some muddy swamp places out there because he comes back and he is just packed with dirt from head to toe. And I don't know how I'm going to keep this white horse clean. This will sure be interesting. He takes his alfalfa hay and dumps it out of his bucket, so he ends up eating his hay off the ground. And this day I am outside cleaning his stall, and he's kind of hesitating at me whether or not he wants to go in with me raking around him. But this is kind of an up-close personal look at him. It's reassuring to know he's not skittish. He's pretty comfortable with me being around him up close, around his legs, his body, his mane. He's just been good. If he laid his ears back or cocked his feet or switched his tail, it would let me know that he wasn't comfortable or he was irritated, and I definitely would want to find out why. But he's a pretty cool dude. He's comfortable with me being around him on his right side or his left side. He's definitely aware that I'm in front of him, behind him, and that's always a good thing. So this is his stall, and I'm just kind of cleaning up around it and checking him out. I never knew that a horse, his eyes are one of the largest eyes of a land mammal. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Wikipedia is full of so much interesting information. Horses have a good sight, day or night. Their vision is good. Also, they've got a good sense of balance. So that is important, especially when a person is roping or barrel racing off of the horse. It's amazing what they're capable of and how they can connect with the rider being on top of them as they're moving. But this guy, he's new, so I will be learning how to get along with him and how smooth he rides and how good he is to be around. And right now, he's making it really easy on me. His biggest concern is where his next meal's coming from. He loves to eat. But as far as me moving around, putting a halter on him, brushing him off, and you can see he's shedding so much hair right now. It's funny that he's just pretty easygoing. He's really comfortable with me being around him, and that sure is comforting for me to know. He's not skittish. I don't have to worry about him kicking me. I'm not worried about him running over the top of me. So he's got a respect for me too. I really like the rope halters. They just are easy to put on and easy to take off. There's a special way to tie them so that if a horse sits back in that rope halter, it's easy enough to get him untied and out of it if you need to. He's being so good, and today is one of the nicest days we've had in a while. So it's nice to be able to get him brushed across his back and along his neck and here along his mane. He's more concerned about what else is going on than me. But again, in time, he'll figure this all out. I just check his legs and make sure to get the dirt off of his fetlock and off of his withers right there. This is him out in the pasture as I'm coming into the stables, and this is here the other day. I was chuckling because when they feed him, or when I feed him when I'm done roping, these chickens come by and they're always bugging him, eating the oats or whatever in his feed out of his bucket with him. So he gets to share his feed with these chickens every day. At least they give him company. The goal is, after a few months and new pictures of him, and you see me ride him and he's getting fed good, that he'll be looking really good, and especially after he sheds off. Also out in the pasture, he's got this nick on his nose, little turkey. Who knows what he's getting into, and his feet, they're so muddy. Checking his fetlock here. You can see I've got shoes on him now. And here in another episode, I'll be able to ride him and take him out and show you the pasture that he's in. But he's saddled. This was when I first brought him back to Texas, and he's really easy to saddle. And I'm just sitting on him, watching the Texas sunset, just enjoying the day. We didn't have any wind. It wasn't too cold outside. It was just really, really nice. The chickens, again, they just pick on him, but he's a trooper. He deals with it pretty good. And this is at the end of the evening, clean stall and unsaddled and back to eating. And I'll get to rope off of him. I've got a lot of butterflies in my stomach just because it's the first time I'm on him, getting to swing a rope. He's comfortable with the rope. And getting my balance back and getting that energy and that drive in my shoulders and in my right arm to feel comfortable roping off of him. So here in another episode, I'll get to show you me roping. And I just can't believe I've got a horse, a rope, and it's all really coming together. So I couldn't be happier with where we're at right now. My horse today, Dude. I guess that's what I call him. On a good day is Dude. On a bad day it's Little Buck, and I'll tell you more about that. Anyway, it's a great day. And as I'm thinking back about like the first last video of me getting my horse trailer, I'm thinking you never know what to expect that day. And when I was coming home from looking at that horse trailer and deciding that's what I'm gonna get, my parents call me and they're telling me the story that Dad, he had to get off the phone because Mom was calling him, and she was in a panic. She couldn't find Chris. Chris is their dog. He is a Corgi. He's adorable, and he was gone. Usually they let him out in the mornings and he barks nonstop, and he wasn't barking. Mom couldn't find him. She went out the front door and was looking for him. She went out the back door and was looking, calling him out, Chris, where are you? You know, and she was worried. We've got some tall grass there behind the house, and she saw the grass moving and the wind was blowing a little bit, and sure enough, this is what shows up. Oh goodness. What showed up was a pig, of all things. Talk about unexpected. All I could do was laugh. Oh my goodness. And scary. Luckily, there in Kansas where they're at, they knew it wasn't a wild pig. This was a friendly one. And she followed Mom from the front of the house to the back of the house. She was just all about it. All about wanting to know what Mom was doing and letting her know, I'm here. What are we going to do today? Oh, talking to Mom and Dad, that made me laugh. Fortunately, to end that whole story, there was a lady driving by my parents' place, and she happened to pick up Chris,
and took him to the local pound. So later that day when Dad got home, Mom and Dad went to town and discovered where he was at, and got him out of dog jail and back home. But of all the things, you know, you don't know what's going to happen until you get up, get out of the house, and get going. So like with this venture, all I had to do to start it out was get a rope. So I got a rope, and we're off and rolling with a horse trailer, and roping again. And as I've said a lot, so excited about this, and just hope good things come about this year.
Thanks for watching Heart to Rope.